All right, now we're streaming. Wait, Alex, say something.
Something.
I'm giving up on you.
Okay, yeah, you're good. Austin, you're a little quiet, but I think it's okay.
That's all I got.
All right, that's good. Yeah,
So
you stay at that level, you should be fine.
I'll chew the mic.
Okay. All right, let's pause.
Pause.
Austin beep, and then let's get going. Beep. Welcome to this week's episode of Making the Call. I am joined by Austin and Alex this week, and we're here to break down all the action from NFL Week 13. We're also going to be talking about the college football playoffs, conference championship weekend, all the chaos that ensued in the following hours, and probably a handful of other sports topics, because that's usually what we do on this podcast, gentlemen. We have an outline of a couple things, and we end up covering a dozen. It's a Making the Call way. So before we get into all of our, big headlines of the week, NFL Week 13 takeaways, a couple programming reminders. So we've got the Making the Call newsletter. That is still just humming along, going strong. Austin is currently figuring out what he's going to write about now that we've got like a college football hiatus. So tune in this Friday, to figure out what Austin has in store.
It's probably going to be like smoking meat or something. I don't know. That's all I know.
Transfer portal stuff.
Transfer portal. You could talk about the college football playoff decision.
I'll do the college football playoff probably this
and then end with like 100 words on like smoking meats.
Play for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. And as college football games dwindle, it'll slowly morph into smoking meats.
You're not going to cover the Army-Navy game? America's game?
Wow, I didn't know Austin hated the troops.
Wow. You must be an Air Force guy.
Yeah. / military spending. Whoa.
Oh, yes. All right. We made it a solid, 60 seconds into the podcast. I love it. But you should be reading the Making the Call newsletter on the Making the Call Substack if you're not already. We'll have a link to it in the notes of this episode. It's free to subscribe, free to read. I had a nice segment laying out Dak Prescott's MVP case, which you heard him at the beginning of this podcast.
Was beautiful. Read the whole thing.
Jalen Hurts had another bad game. Shocker. And I saw a couple of sports books had Brock Purdy listed as the MVP favorite. I want to say it's like half of his yards have been yards after the catch this season.
Yep. That's like Bo Nick's stat. Yeah.
So
you put me in that offense, and I'm MVP favorite. That's the thing.
Yeah, just give it to Debo and hide behind Trent Williams.
Yeah. Exactly. But you should be definitely reading the Making the Call Substack. I think, let's see, Trent I think was 1 for 2 on his player props. CJ Stroud and Baker Mayfield burned him. Alex almost hit the parlay, was 3 for 4.
Come on, Russ.
3 for 4. His old man Russell Wilson let him down on that Broncos plus 3.5. But
3 picks.
Russ just isn't done screwing Alex over. So he said one more time.
He had one more thing. He said I got one more in me. All right. So that's the mention of the newsletter. Update on our bets contest. No. So everyone hit their bets except for me this week. I took Cowboys -8 because they were at home and they always cover at home. And Alex's Seattle Seahawks, they lost, but they covered, which is what the best teams do.
Yay.
And Alex actually took the Seahawks plus 8.5. So he won. Austin got Chargers -5 against the Patriots.
And it was 6-0.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Every drive, I was like heavy breathing, but then I remembered that the quarterback that day was Bailey Zappi, so we're good.
Yeah. Trent had Brian Robinson over 39.5 rushing yards, and then Rosie had Cortland Sutton over 56.5 receiving yards. So,
and we can stop there.
No, we got to give them the full update.
We don't have to talk about anything else.
Trent and Alex are in first place with 8 points on the season. I've got 7 points. Rosie has 6 points, and Austin has 5 points. So,
about to start fading Rosie.
I think you might need to.
Yeah.
Or
I'll
just honestly,
2 more weeks.
Honestly, just tail Trent or like try to tail him in a way, because he has hit 7 of his last 8.
Oh, geez, yeah. Let's tail Trent.
Or just find an underdog.
Is that allowed?
Well, no, you can't. I mean, you can't tail him exactly, but like if he bet,
Like a spread, then I need to bet like a player prop in that game.
or something, yeah.
All right.
Total.
Or
I've
you
already
could just
started
fade
writing.
Rosie. Yeah,
I
you
came
could.
up with the outline for my solo pod today in my head, so
You're already like planning it
yeah.
out. That's
We're
what
gonna
I'm
have like
doing.
an MTC roast section. We've got some
Oh,
fun
yeah?
stuff planned. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
We've got some fun stuff planned.
Yeah, sorry,
Me
I've
and my
got.
voice
Yeah,
is in
you
my
have
head.
some fun stuff.
I
planned.
have some fun stuff. Did I do it like Peyton and Eli style, where I have periodic guests come in and out?
No, but I'll join the YouTube chat and I'll try to give you some content that way.
Okay, that
Just
sounds
do
good.
different
But-
voices.
The only voice that our listeners will be blessed with that
Yeah.
that nice
Yeah.
Monday evening will be yours there, buddy.
I'm gonna be like starting in Leviticus chapter 1, and then I'm just gonna read it.
Let's read the Bible for
I
an
thought.
hour.
I thought. Am I gonna lean into it? and
Today
am I
we're going to
make it-
read the entirety of Songs of Solomon.
This is a family podcast. Answer. You can't
It's a
read
book
that.
in the Bible, Austin.
Yes, it's yeah.
We
but
don't run
you
from the Lord.
You should read it when you're an adult.
All right.
I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna like make it fun and like actually worth listening, or if I'm just gonna like try and do like an hour of just straight cringe content and see how hard you guys wins.
You
I
know,
don't know which way I'm gonna go.
in the words of Thanos, I think it should be balanced.
Perfectly balanced.
Yeah. Little this, little that,
Creed
All right.
sing along style, but you have to type the lyrics in the chat. Yeah, we could do that. That
Yeah,
could be
see,
fun.
there you go.
There you go.
You could even say like,
We could take requests.
people in the chat, give me a song and I'll sing it. Like you could do things like that. Just a big
I'm gonna
1
make it
hour
like a-
karaoke session.
2-hour solo pod. We're gonna encore this baby. Yeah, that'd be great.
Keep going.
I'm gonna request you sing Bohemian Rhapsody word for word.
Oh man, that's gonna be vocal hell.
All right, let's get into this week. Let's start with our one big headlines. Austin, I feel like you should start us here because I have a guess of what yours is, and I think we should get into it.
You have a guess, but you mentioned it in the pod intro, so
Because I just know you very well. Like
No, me.
I know where your head is at on this nice Monday evening.
my head, as always, is focused on college football during the football season, and I just feel like we gotta rehash what happened on Sunday. The top 4 teams, Michigan and Washington, we knew we were gonna get in, and then after that, it was everybody's best guess, and so Texas blows at Oklahoma State. They're in at number 3, and then Alabama usurping ACC undefeated champion, Power 5 champion, Florida State for that final 4th spot. And
Always the Tide.
I gotta say, so I mentioned it in the aforementioned newsletter. I'm using all the SAT words in this little monologue here.
Yeah, you are.
I mentioned it in the podcast that I thought the best teams remaining after the conference championship games were going to be Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama. I thought that was going to be the craziest scenario. But I thought that the committee would honor Florida State's undefeated Power 5 conference championship season. And I got to say, I was shocked when I got out of church and I saw that Florida State had been snubbed. I said this in the newsletter too, that I think the best team, like I didn't think that Florida State was going to be one of the best teams remaining, but they were going to be able to get in. Like what I meant to say was like, so Texas could kill Florida State. Alabama could kill Florida State. Georgia could kill Florida State. But I thought Florida State was still going to get in because of their record. But as we see, that didn't happen. There's a lot of differing opinions on social media right now. I don't know where you guys stand on this. For me, like on the eye test, I definitely think that Texas and Alabama should have gotten in. But based on merit, Florida State is the first undefeated conference champion to not get into the college football playoffs. And so that's kind of crappy. So where do you guys stand on this?
You can go ahead, Alex.
I'm sort of indifferent just because I'm super excited to see Alabama and Michigan in the Rose Bowl. Like I get their way of thinking here. Like, yeah, Florida State went undefeated, but they even explained ever since the Travis went down, they were watching them extra close, and they're just not the same team that they were. And Alabama just looks like the better team overall. So I think they're another conference champion. Yeah, they lost one game to a playoff team, so it's not even that bad of a loss. So I sort of see why they got the bump up.
Yeah, but so my beef is, and it's not even really beef because I mean Alabama should have been in because they're the better team. But my beef is that so they honored resume and head to head with Texas. They honored resume and head to head with Alabama, putting them ahead of Georgia. But it seems like when they left Florida State out, they just kind of did it based on the eye test. And so my question is, what's the standard? Because the regular season doesn't define who gets into to the college football playoff. Then
Yeah.
it just feels like a committee decides that, and that's not the way it should be.
Yeah, I think it's also just a flawed system that's only 4 teams, and it's why we're
Agreed.
going to go to an expanded playoff next year. Like Mike Leach said it best, this is just an invitational. This isn't a playoff. It's a popularity contest.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think it just on the last year of the 4-team system, the undefeated, like the precedent had already been set. The undefeated conference champions get in, and that's how it should have been. But that being said, I am stoked for the matchups that we get to watch because I think Washington, Texas is going to be insane, seeing if that front seven can put pressure on Ewers, and then Alabama, Michigan. I mean, honestly, all bets are off. So it's going to be fun. But Andrew, what's your thought?
I thought that Florida State should have gotten in. Let me emphasize that. They didn't look good in the ACC title game against Louisville. That was also their third string quarterback.
And they were getting number 2 back.
Rodemaker was out. Rodemaker was going to be back for the playoffs. I think that team showed that they were more than talented enough to still potentially make some noise in the playoffs. Were they going to win the title? I mean, that's a long shot, but that defense holds Louisville to 6 points, which I'm looking through Louisville's schedule. The week before, they put up 31 points against Kentucky, and then they put up 38 points against Miami, 31 points against Virginia, 34 points against Virginia Tech. You're getting it. You're sensing a trend here. Louisville was good. They were 10-3, and they had a nice win against Notre Dame halfway through the year. They beat Duke 23-0, and Duke was ranked at that time. Is the playoffs probably better without Florida State? I think you can say that, and it's okay. Yeah. But I feel terrible for all the players on Florida State because that team was not just Jordan Travis. That team was talented up and down the roster. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you've got a wide receiver like Keon Coleman, who going to be a first round pick, is a stud. And I think that Florida State team could beat a Michigan or could beat a Texas. Like that defense, I think, is good enough to win a playoff game. Mm-hmm. And I said this in the group text after the decision came out. And maybe this is, too exaggerative because we're going to a 12-team playoff next year, so this won't be the case. But with all the conference realignment, with the Pac-12 disbanding after this year,
Pac-2.
What? Yeah, exactly. What kind of message does that send to a conference like the ACC, where you basically say, yeah, you can go undefeated and you can win your conference, but we're still going to value these one-loss teams from the SEC over you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there's nothing more that Florida State team could have done. Nothing.
Yeah. So that's kind of my takeaway is like the games are probably going to be better because of the Jordan Travis injury, but I feel bad for Florida State because it's like, what more could you ask from them? Like, I'm sorry, but like Bama, Georgia, any of the teams who played in the conference championship. So Bama, Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma State, Michigan, Iowa, I'll throw them in there, Washington, and Oregon. None of those teams are winning the conference championship game on their third string quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
To me, that speaks to how good the rest of the Florida State roster was, that they were able to win with a third string quarterback who's had 55 yards through the air.
Yeah. I think, what did he complete, like 8 passes?
8 for 21,
Okay.
55 yards.
Golly.
And you got Toafili going for 118 yards on the ground and a touchdown.
Yep.
So, hey, how did we all do on our preseason picks? Because we all picked our top 4 back in August.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, did we draft?
Yeah, we did draft.
Oh, shoot. We got to find those.
Yeah, okay. We'll come back to it. I've got to,
go do some work.
our producer wasn't prepared for that, so I need to
Dang it,
dig
Craig.
that up.
Come on.
Yeah.
So here, let's ask. So out of these 4, who do y'all have? Because honestly, it's not a foregone conclusion that Alabama, gets trounced by Michigan. And
I think it's
Washington
Bama versus Texas.
That would be poetic.
And then I think Bama wins.
Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be Michigan, Washington, in the championship. And I think Michigan's going to win.
I think it's going to be Michigan, Texas. And I think Michigan's going to win. So. Because
I think the game. I think both semifinal games are going to be great, and I think the championship game is going to be great. So I'm excited for these games. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
If Ewers gets pressured, he's done. That's the problem. Not good. And I think Washington is going to be able to generate that, and I think Michigan would be able to generate that even more. So,
yeah.
But they're going to be fun, and it's like teams that don't normally play. That's one thing that's super fun about this. So,
No, that's fair.
Michigan, Alabama. I mean, that matchup
awesome.
is amazing. So, we're really just trying to fill content while Andrew searches for this thing.
I know. Dude, I'm trying, but we'll have to come back
Alex,
to it.
is it cold down there or up there? Sorry, it's up there. Is it cold up there?
What are you talking about?
What'd you put on your Christmas list,
in
Alex?
the 50s.
All right, Alex, what's your big headline of the week?
I mean, it's baby week. So Luka Doncic welcomed in a new baby girl, Gabriella.
Really glad you
Dante
didn't go another
Exum.
direction with that.
On the same day, had probably should have looked this up before. He had a baby. I don't know if it was a girl or boy or what his name
Who,
was.
Dante Exum?
Yeah.
I think it was also a girl.
All right. And then this morning, Baker Mayfield announced that he and his wife are expecting. So it's baby week, guys.
Hey, it's baby week. All right.
It's baby week.
That is true. It's I think whenever it was announced that Luka was going to miss that game due to personal reasons, and
there were some things floating around before.
I thought it was
figured
rest
out.
on the front end of a back-to-back. That's what I thought it was.
I mean, well, so when Alex sent it, he was like, "Oh no, here we go," and I was like, "Well,
Saw some tweets.
Personal reasons for Luka is less concerning than if it was like personal reasons for Kyrie." So I wasn't really sweating it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm in the outline from August 29th where we drafted, but all I see is that we were going to do the draft, but I don't see what our picks were. So that's what I'm currently searching for. But I'll keep looking as we go through the episode, and if I find it, then
Does
we'll circle back
Spotify
to it.
transcript them?
I don't.
Did you do it in your Google
think so.
Sheets? Did you do it in your sheets? Sometimes you do it in your sheets.
It's somewhere. I'll find it. But in the meantime, let me give my my one big headline, and then we can go into NFL. Mine is just that we've got one. It's college basketball related. We just talked a lot about college football, and we've got one more month until the conference games begin in the college basketball season. And I don't know if you looked at the latest AP poll, but the Big 12 is. I mean, we knew this going in after all the realignment. The Big 12 is just going to be a bloodbath. And this is
insane.
This is before Arizona joins a conference next year. and they're currently the number 1 team in the nation. Current AP rankings, you have number 2 in the country, Kansas, who's 7-1. Number 3 in the country, Houston, who's 8-0. Number 6, Baylor, Sikkim, who's 8-0. Number 12, Texas is 6-1. Number 14, BYU is 7-0, and number 19, OU is 7-0. So 6 teams in the top 20, 5 in the top 15. And
TCU's looking good too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
They play
bad.
fast. They play fast.
So I'm just like Baylor's got a, what looked like was going to be a tough stretch and probably still is coming up here in towards the end of December, where they're back-to-back games. They played Duke and Michigan State, which now if you look at those,
That's 2 dubs.
probably because
Duke's
Michigan State's
down.
now not ranked and Duke is 22nd. So
Texas A&M is ranked above Duke for probably the first time ever. So
but then the calendar turns and then they start playing, BYU in January, Texas in January, Kansas and Oklahoma and BYU again, and Houston all in February. I mean, this is kind of like December. There's going to be some fun matchups. I think Texas and Creighton play either later this week or next week. But
that's fun.
this is like the calm before the storm when all these conference games start happening and it really starts to heat up. So I'm excited. I've enjoyed the college basketball season so far.
See, bracketology still has Purdue as the number 1 overall.
Really?
Yep. I was kind of surprised with that, but hey,
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that right now.
it is what it is. It's the way too early bracketology. I just thought it was interesting.
Okay. All right. Let's move into NFL Week 13. Who would like to give a take or takeaway or anything like that? Who wants to be the first one to lead us off?
I feel
Refs suck.
okay.
All right. Let's hear it.
That freaking Thursday night football game was an awesome game, back and forth. But my goodness, can we go 3 plays without a flag? No, it felt like they just wanted to be the center of attention, and it sort of took away.
It's not the
Well, it was an
matchup I thought
awesome-
you were talking about.
Oh, I think I found our college football predictions.
All right, we got to talk about it, and then we'll talk about how much the refs suck. And
Okay,
both Thursday night and
so-
Sunday night.
I didn't. Yeah,
That means Andrew won. Dang it.
I had 2 of the 4 teams. You both had 1.
yeah. I had Washington right.
Well,
So Austin had Michigan, LSU, Ohio State, and Kansas State.
Kansas State. Wow, that one really died.
Alex had Georgia, Washington, Notre Dame, OU.
Notre Dame.
And then I had Alabama, Texas, USC, and Penn State.
All right, so we all had a dud.
Yeah.
We all had a dud, but then we all got one. So that's good.
We all got 1.
Except
Tune in
for
next year
Andrew.
to see if one of us can get 3 out of the 12, which we should be able to do.
Hopefully.
We should scale it up, and you got to be able to get 8 of 12 or something,
Yeah, what do we each draft 8 next year?
Oh man, that's gonna be a lot.
or
of
no,
teams.
9 of 12. Sorry. No, we'll each need to draft 12. It's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
JMU is gonna be the 12th seed.
Andrew was going in.
All right. Anyways, Alex, I interrupted your rant about the refs. Please continue.
Yeah. If your game has Cleet Blakeman as the head referee, just get ready, buckle up. It's gonna be nothing's going. He's I'm getting frustrated talking about it right
Just
now.
growled on the podcast. That's the first time ever.
He's growled, he's burped, he's coughed.
if the DBs breathe on anybody on the wide receivers, he's throwing a flag every time. It sucked because that game was awesome. Maybe the game of the year if it wasn't for all those 300 yards of flags between the 2 teams. That's got to be a record.
I think the record was 380 something.
Okay, I think they got 320. They got close.
Yeah, because I texted that it was 314, but then I think that's the second most. So
That's insane. 380.
it sucks because yeah, that game was so back and forth, so
It's a Big 12 game.
it's high tension, and it just felt
There was not a punt.
no,
Nope.
yeah,
Not a
the
single
fifth-
punt.
Only the 5th NFL game ever without a punt.
Prize Picks voided all punt props that people bet. Not because someone got injured, because they didn't get on the field. It was ridiculous.
There's punt props.
Yes.
One of
there
my
are.
segments in my solo
I did
pod was
not
going to be
know
things
exactly what
Alex
you
wouldn't bet on, and so
I'm not betting
I can
punts.
add punt props to the list.
None of us are allowed, or I'm making an executive decision, just a quick tangent. None of us are allowed to bet anything regarding the Thursday night football game this week between the Patriots and the Steelers.
Oh,
It's not allowed.
What about the under?
No unders, no props, nothing. No, none of us should be subjected to having to pay attention to that game.
Right.
Go watch a Christmas movie. Go touch grass. Go apple picking. Don't watch it.
Yeah,
Alex
Christmas
is-
vacation.
Yeah, I think we're watching Four Christmases tonight, which
Christmas
is a classic.
vacation.
Dude, John Favreau is like such just like a sneaky good character in that movie. He shows up for like 5 minutes. We watched that the other day.
Dude, it's
Oh,
such
that
a-
movie's so good.
The Vince swaddle that baby. It's like,
I just love when they're playing the what are they playing, like Taboo or something, and it's
can't
Vince
say
Vaughn. Yeah, well, it's Vince Vaughn and his like girlfriend or wife, and they're just getting every single thing like that, and it's like the most like obscure references. It's so good. It's so
well,
good.
it's Vince Vaughn's brother is John
Yeah.
Favreau. Yeah,
That's right, that's right.
It's insane.
It's so good.
She says hors d'oeuvre, anyone? so good.
But let's bring it back to Alex's take. I agree with you. I think NFL refereeing in general has been just a problem this year.
You guys see the
Yeah.
controversy on the PI call at the end of
Last
last
night?
night's game?
With the Chiefs, yeah.
Yeah, breathing down his neck. It's
I
like,
saw- I think I agree with that reasoning, though. You can't throw a flag there on a Hail Mary. It's too.
Well, no, it
like-
wasn't the Hail Mary call. It was the
was the one
Rasheed
before
Rice,
that.
I thought.
Oh, I
Or
thought you
no,
were-
MVS.
yeah, it's the
Okay.
MVS one.
They
But
all-
yeah, there
all
was
send it to
PI
you,
on the other
Alex.
one too. But yeah, it was bad.
I did
It's
think it was
annoying.
kind of funny where like, and Austin, you'll probably agree with this. The Cowboys just live rent free in Eagles fans' heads, like perpetually, and the Eagles get a more favorable whistle than I think any other team. Like I think Trent sent that thing to us the
Nah.
other day,
The
where they were
Niners get a pretty favorable whistle too.
Oh, they're like the third least penalized, but their opponents are the most in the league.
Yeah, was it the luck rankings? Yeah, they lead the league in luck rankings according to teamrankings.com.
What?
Which, I think tracks. But
Yeah.
they were, after the Cowboys won, they're like, oh, look at the typical Cowboys getting bailed out by the refs. And it's like, dude, did you watch the game? Like, it was bad for both sides. Like,
Yep.
Terrible.
it was one of those occasions where both teams were pissed at the refs, and both teams had a legitimate case to be pissed at the refs. It was absurd.
How many penalties total were there in the game? I'm trying to look.
Over
Uh,
30. Gotta
which-
be.
Okay, let's see. You want total between both
There were 19 penalties
for a total of
257.
257 yards.
Let's see.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I mean, the amount of penalty yardage was more than like Matt Canada could ever dream of scheming up as an offensive coordinator.
I guess one more takeaway from that game. Dak Prescott's the best quarterback in the league. That
Ooh,
dude
baby.
Was on
Man.
fire. I was waiting for just the one mistake.
Yeah,
maybe he
here we
floats
go.
Here we go.
something like that, but it just never happened. He was pinpoint, scrambled when he needed to, extended the plays when he needed to, hit his spots. Like, he's just on all cylinders right now.
Dude, it feels like, I'll get this off my chest here. It feels so good because, like, after all the crap that was tossed his way last season, and some of it was deserving, but like, you look at his, last year was his 7th year in the league, and so you had like a 7-year sample size, and Dak's interception percentage was like 3.5% last year, and it was like double. Then it was like twice as much as any other year in his career, and like Dak defenders like me were like, hey, this seems like an aberration. Let's not just say that Dak is like the new Jameis Winston.
I was even
Yeah.
hating.
I mean, it was rough at times, but to see him come back this year and legit play like the best quarterback in the NFL, as Alex put it, it's awesome. It's so cool. I've always been a Dak guy. I've always been a big fan of his, and the impressive thing is, hold on, I liked a couple. I liked a couple tweets. Do you guys ever like some tweets so you can go back and reference them later?
So what are they called
All
now?
the time.
What are tweets called now?
Tweets.
I don't know.
All tweets.
So
X's.
No.
last year, Dak led the league in interceptions and everyone was going crazy. This was from Sam Monson from PFF. This season, he has the lowest turnover-worthy play rate in the NFL, 1.4%, with just 7 turnover-worthy plays in 12 games. So he's
That's
almost
crazy.
averaging like 1 turnover-worthy play every 2 games.
Not bad.
So he's not making bad throws at all.
So
No,
how many picks
Yeah.
does he have? Like 7?
6.
6.
So I laid this out in the Making the Call Substack plug. If you look at the top 4 MVP candidates at that time, now Purdy is in there. So I looked at Dak, Hurts, Mahomes, and Lamar because those were the top 4, and now Purdy has surpassed Lamar. If you look at basically total touchdowns and then total turnover, so I looked at interceptions plus fumbles lost. Okay, Dak is at 28-6. This was after the Thursday night game, and this was before any of the Sunday games. So Hurts and Mahomes just Hurts and Mahomes changes a little bit. But
Yep.
excuse me. Dak was 28-6. Hurts was 29-14. Mahomes was 21-11, and Lamar was 18-11.
Hurts has 14 interceptions.
He has 10 interceptions and 4 lost fumbles.
Dang.
Golly.
And of those 29 total touchdowns, 8 of them were tush push.
Yeah. Not surprised.
Like I went back and checked. He had 8 touchdowns that were a rush from 1 yard out.
Okay, do you want to have the argument about the tush push play right now?
Sure.
Because I don't think it needs to go away. I think that's just.
I think it's a legal football play.
Did you say legal or illegal?
It's a legal.
Exactly. Yeah. Just get bigger. Like, have the safeties and the linebackers push back. I don't know.
Yeah, they're pushing. You should push. Everybody push like a new mama. Push.
So I think you should give the Eagles the choice. They can either keep the tush push, or they can either keep the quote unquote legal false start that Lane Johnson has on every snap. They don't get both. They get to choose one.
It sounds like you don't want to talk about the tush push. That's what it sounds like.
Lane's talked about that on PMT. Like, he just knows how to get off at the perfect time. Like, maybe it's very instrumental. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But they get to choose. They get to have one or the other, I think.
It's just a savvy vet move by Lane. Boomer.
I don't like the tush push, but I don't think that they should ban it. Because I think teams should be able to figure out a way to stop it.
And
But-
some teams have. I mean, more than not, it's going to work, but you can't stop it.
It's like the most efficient play in NFL history. I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's nuts.
It also
you-
doesn't help that Jalen Hurts squats like 800 pounds, so like he's the perfect quarterback.
Well,
for
and
that.
honestly, the big reason is the fact that they have Jason Kelsey at center.
That too.
That
All
helps
man
out
wins.
a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think they should ban it, but I think it is silly. And I don't think the NFL is going to ban it by themselves. I think someone's going to get hurt, and then they're going to ban it. Because a big injury is just waiting to happen, whether it's with the Eagles or whether it's with another team who's trying to do it. Like, quarterback's going to get pushed in the back and going to get, like, smushed from the front and is going to have, like, a dislocated disc in their spine.
Yeah.
and they're going to ban it.
Pretty
if
sure
you're
the
gonna- if you're gonna-
Giants tried it against the Seahawks, and Danny Jones almost got hurt. Like he was limping after that play, and they didn't get it.
Yeah.
'Cause the Giants are just the Giants.
If you're gonna ban anything based on injury, it's the hip drop tackle. That's what you ban before.
No,
Mhm.
okay, that one. How was you supposed to tackle the guy then? Like, am I just supposed to ride on his back because I can't bring my weight down and tackle him? Like, no, I'm gonna tackle him.
I
Anyway
think you just lower your hands down to their legs.
No, but like, yeah, you can do that. But what if the momentum's just gonna take you with them?
I
Like,
can see if you lower your hands, they slip out.
I'm more on favor with them doing something about the hip drop tackle than the tush push, because
They've
that
had
one
some
seems way
real
more detrimental.
serious leg injuries this year.
Just
on the
give
hip
him
drop.
flags at that point, man. Because like, what the defender already can't land on a quarterback. He can't hit him high. You can't hit him low, and now you can't bring your weight down to try and tackle a guy. Like,
Yeah, I will
it's
say
not
that.
a vicious play. It's just you're bringing someone down, and it happens to, you know.
That one roughing the passer when I texted after was crap. Like if you hit him while he's throwing, like I get it, you want to try and get off of him, but like I don't know.
Well,
I
and
don't see
honestly, that's on it. That could be a case for why they should eliminate the tush push, because so many of the rules are geared towards the offense. So if you're going to Austin, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I got a FaceTime call, and so I'm trying to get back on.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll keep going.
My video froze.
All right.
Not my computer froze. Can y'all
Okay,
still hear me there?
We'll cut
Just
all
keep
this
going.
out.
Yeah, we can hear
Keep
you.
going.
I'll cut all this out.
And we're back. Okay.
Hold on. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. I could see it being a reason to ban the tush push just because so many of the rules are geared towards the offense, whether it's the roughing the passer rules or whether it's, the in last night's game, the Packers getting called for unnecessary roughness, hitting Mahomes when he was still in bounds. Like so many things are so many, aspects of the way the game is called is to benefit the offense. If you want to remove something like the tush push to help the defense out, I'm okay with that. Even if it is, only hurting the Eagles, I'm also okay with that.
Oh, my wife just texted me. Tua is playing
My
acoustic
wife.
guitar on the Manning cast. That's fun.
Oh.
The man of many talents.
It should be a
Playing it
ukulele. I'm
left-handed.
just going to say that.
Speaking of the Dolphins, I have a take.
Oh, well, let's go ahead and transition to the Dolphins.
I think it's ridiculous that Tyreek Hill is not in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, I
else?
agree. I agree. Like,
I get that it's a quarterback league, but I mean, the dude is on an absolute. He had 157 yards on 5 receptions.
Yep.
He had a touchdown on 40% of his catches on Sunday. And yeah, it's the Commanders. That's fine. But with the historic pace that he's on, it's ridiculous that he's not even top 5 in MVP odds.
No, it's fair. And honestly, Tyreek Hill deserves to be celebrated. But in the NFL, it's not going to be through an MVP. Until
Why?
they... I've think I've said this on the podcast before, but I wish the NFL would treat quarterbacks like MLB treats pitchers, where you have a Cy Young, where you have some award that's just for the best quarterbacks, or the best quarterback in this case, and then you award the MVP to someone else.
okay.
And
I like that.
I
if a
think that's a
quarterback
good one.
is having a truly historic season, they can get both, which has happened in baseball, right? Like Clayton Kershaw is one of the more recent examples. I want to say it was 2014 or something. He won the MVP and the Cy Young that year because he had a sub-2 ERA, which is absurd. So if it's a year where Mahomes throws for 50 touchdowns, you can get both, but it
So
needs to. Go ahead.
So Travis Hunter is going to be like Shohei Ohtani coming to the NFL and play offense and defense. Is that what it's going to be? And then he'll win MVP that way, or is that?
But even Shohei hasn't won a Cy Young. He's only won an MVP.
Yeah.
So I wish the NFL would do that because you deserve to celebrate what a guy like Tyreek Hill is doing. Or if a guy like Myles Garrett is having a truly historic season, he should get more than just a Defensive Player of the Year. Like he should be in the conversation for an MVP, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I don't know if they'll do that, but that would be my proposal to fixing this.
that's a good take.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, my first takeaway is okay. It's kind of two. I'm gonna roll two into one. Last week I said that, or I think I actually wrote this in the Substack a few weeks ago too, that a wildcard team, if there's a year for a wildcard team to make the Super Bowl, it's this year, because there doesn't really feel like a dominant team in either conference. Outside the Cowboys, I would hereby like to rescind that take because I think any wildcard team outside of the Cowboys is, I mean, I'm sorry, Alex, but kind of trash.
Consider it
Oh, I
rescinded.
agree.
I'm
It's
just
trash.
there was so much bad football from teams that are going to be in the playoffs that I'm taking that take back. But I want to roll that up into kind of a different playoff take, which is that usually in sports, we always root for the upsets, right? Like March Madness, we love a good upset. Even, NFL, I mean, baseball, you have the Rangers win the World Series as a wild card team. You have the Diamondbacks make it to the World Series as a Diamondback team. This year, I hope there's no upsets in the wild card round, and we get to the divisional round. And in the AFC, it's the Dolphins, Ravens, Jaguars, and Chiefs. And then in the NFC, it's the Eagles, 49ers, Cowboys, and Lions. To me, those are the four best teams in each conference, and I want to see those four duke it out in the divisional round to try to get to the conference championship game.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I just I don't want it to be like that year where it was, what was the graphic where it was like Brady and Bortles,
yeah.
Foles and Keenum.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like I know Foles ended up winning that Super Bowl over the Patriots, but I don't want like the Steelers to be going up against the Chiefs in the AFC title game. Like, please, for the love of all things holy, no.
I don't think you have to worry about that one. They just lost to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we're a little sensitive about the Cardinals.
Hey, the Cardinals are better than people like to think, okay?
Yeah.
Well, they actually are now. Kyler's sort of playing good.
But I just want those 8 teams in the divisional round, and then we can sort it out from there. I don't want some crazy wild card. I guess you could make a case for Buffalo, but they've just been so frustrating to watch.
No, Buffalo's dead.
So
You're dead.
that's my take.
All right. Hey, I got another one. I'm gonna take more of an accusatory approach on this one. And it's Andrew, you were too fast to write off Jordan Love.
I know.
I've been sticking by him.
You got to save it for that Sunday night football. Okay, keep going.
What?
Oh, it's just what?
Well, it's Sunday night football. We got to go chronological
going-
order,
We don't
right?
go through every
We don't
game.
do
We're not
that.
going to be
Stop
here
it.
talking about the Browns and the Rams. I mean, come on.
Nobody
Joe
wants
Flacco? You don't want to talk about Joe Flacco?
Hey, Joe Flacco looked fine. Yeah, Jordan Love seems to have turned a corner, and the Packers are the 7th seed
I
in the
know.
NFC. You talked about how there was a lot of bad football from the NFC playoff teams outside of the Cowboys. There was not bad football from the Green Bay Packers on Sunday. And so, yeah, I've been here the whole time. Welcome to the party, Andrew. We're glad you're here.
I still don't think that he's as good as people would like to think, but he's better than what I thought he was.
He is not as bad as you thought he was.
He's a
Okay.
top 16 quarterback.
In
Right
my
around.
defense, he looked bad.
He did.
You can
Granted.
only go off of what you were seeing with your own eyes, and from what I had seen, he looked bad.
On a small sample size.
He has played. I'd still say it's a small sample size.
Still a small sample size. He has a small sample size of bad and a small sample size of good. So just the good is more recent than the bad is.
He still worries me
And the
as a
Chiefs
decision
defense
maker.
was hurt a little bit last night.
He still worries me as a decision maker because he is still third in the league in aggressive throw percentage behind Kenny Pickett and Kyler Murray. He is still, what is he? He's fifth in completion, or he's like fifth worst in completion percentage above expectation with a minus 3.1. The 4 quarterbacks that are worse than him are Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Tommy DeVito, Will Levis, and Kyler Murray.
Well, that stat's out the window because Tommy DeVito is considered.
Tommy's the man.
Tommy's the man.
Quarterbacks that have a better completion percentage over expectation: Deshaun Watson, Zach Wilson, Tyler Badgett, Desmond Ridder, Bryce Young, Mac Jones. He's not.
At the beginning, he was really bad.
Yeah. Now that this is just.
Can you do like the last 4 games?
Do the last 3.
Yeah.
The last 3 he's got 8
I'll have to
touchdowns.
go to a different site. Hold on. I'll go to a different site. The site's not going to give it to me, but he has played a lot better. I still think he, like,
that stuff improves. It improves as you get experience in the league, but because Matt LaFleur's offense feels like it's finally starting to come into fruition.
Yep. And it's not just Jordan Love; it's the receivers. Like they don't have a receiver with over 2 years experience, and now they're all
Christian Watson
coming together as sort of a cohesive unit. Like they figured out their roles. Like they look good right now.
Yeah.
Just feels very Packers-esque. Like nobody's an all-star, but everybody's solid and knows their role. That's just kind of what it's been.
Yeah, and now it's
And if
cold.
Jordan Love can-
So last 3 weeks, so weeks 11, 12, and 13. Wait, did they play? They had a bye week, didn't they? Like 2 weeks
I think
ago or
right
something?
before Thanksgiving. Right before Thanksgiving.
When was their bye week? Hold on.
That would have been in that window. I saw something. He has like the same stats through like 11.
No,
or
their
12
bye week
games
was
or
actually
something.
week 6.
Aaron Rodgers or something like that. Same touchdowns, all that.
So actually, yeah, last 3 weeks he is 5th best completion percentage over expectation.
Improvement.
5th in EPA per play.
So if he's 5th in the last 3 games, that means he was really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
And they've
4th
also
in
been
success
missing.
rate.
They've been doing this without Aaron Jones too, so he's really had to step up
Hey,
a little
AJ
bit.
Dillon doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion, for how he
No,
runs.
he's a
That's
great bruiser.
That's a
Like,
bad man right there.
He'll run you over.
But yeah, I think I might have been premature on Jordan Love, but
I think it was warranted at the time.
It was
bad.
warranted at the time. Yeah, I was even doubting.
I also wonder, like, okay, here's a word of caution. So Kansas City has had a good defense this year, but they were banged up last night, and I wouldn't say that they had a great defensive performance. The team that he played the week before was Detroit on Thanksgiving, which he not only is the Detroit defense atrocious, he also had the moon on his side. So it's
Okay.
not like that was all on Jordan Love.
The front 7 of Detroit is not atrocious.
The
back
secondary
4
is atrocious.
The back 4 are atrocious. I just want
It's
to
very bad.
The week
clarify
before that, he played the Chargers, who every team has their best offensive output of the season when they play the Chargers.
Except the New England Patriots, who got shut out.
Yes.
Yay.
We call that the Bill Belichick exception. So he's played some favorable defenses. I think you could look at his start to where, we had the weird game against Chicago to start the year, Atlanta on the road in Atlanta in week 2. They've got a good defense, some good secondary pieces. Week 3 was New Orleans.
Good defense.
So, but I also don't know, like, if I look at Jordan Love to finish off the year, the Giants, the Bucks, the Panthers, the Vikings, and the Bears.
You're not going to get a good look at him against a good defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bears have a good defense.
They're fine.
They've been better.
They're league average.
Lately, they've been better since they got Montez.
So I'm curious, like, I want to know what to actually think about Jordan Love, because I feel like he has benefited from playing some pretty shaky secondaries these last few weeks.
His defense, his division just isn't that good outside of Detroit. So, and that Detroit has shaky secondary. So I mean, he's played 6 games against crappy defenses. So
There you go.
The Vikings are okay. Shout out Trent.
There you go.
Vikings historically, Yeah.
Alex, do you have any other takeaways from Week 13?
Yeah. San Francisco 49ers might be the best team in the NFL. And I hate to say it. They looked. I think we all got ahead of ourselves when they had a couple injuries around week 8. They were missing Debo and Trent, and Purdy couldn't do anything. But they look unstoppable. Like last night, the over-under, I picked the over. It was 48. The San Francisco 49ers scored 45 points.
42.
Still, like, that's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
They got 87.5% of the over.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
I was
When
waiting for
they-
like the Andrew stat to pick this apart, so I was not expecting. No, you're right, but
No, I mean, yeah, when San Francisco is healthy, they're the best team in the NFL, I think.
that's a big win.
Because they went on a 3-game losing streak and they didn't have Debo and or Trent Williams for that entire time. They get them back and they just dominate again. I think, to be honest, that game was more concerning for the Eagles than it was some sort of revelation for the 49ers.
Yeah, because, like, we knew the 49ers were good either way, so.
I
But
agree. With
you'd
that.
expect the Eagles to at least make it more of a game. It looks like they were, and then they just sort of got bullied around after cutting it to like an 8-point game early in the third.
Yeah. I think your recipe for going up against the Eagles is, I mean, they signed the ghost of Shaq Leonard today. So we'll see how he helps.
Terrible in coverage. He's terrible in coverage.
We'll see how he helps their linebacker core. But I think the 49ers showed you that, especially with some of the injuries they've had to their linebackers, so some of the depth guys who have had to step up and play more snaps. If you can get one of them on an island, whether it's in space to make a tackle or out in coverage, I mean, you're going to eat like you got 3 Thanksgiving meals on the schedule. Like, it's going to be turkey legs, morning, noon, and night. And that's concerning if you're an Eagles fan.
You hungry?
A little bit. Actually, not. I cooked some good steaks tonight. Not gonna lie.
Oh, nice. I made some potato soup.
Got some New York strip steaks on sale from HEB.
Shout out. Sponsor
shout
us,
out.
please. We love you.
Oh my gosh, HEB here, everything's better. Just
Yep.
It writes itself. See, it's so easy. But yeah, I'd say I'm a little hungry. But yeah, I think that game was concerning for the Eagles, and I really, 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 really want to make Cowboys minus 3.5 as my bet this week. But I'm gonna try to bet with my brain instead of my heart.
I tried the Cowboys bet versus the Eagles earlier in the season, and I ate
Cowboys are at home.
They're at home.
I might make that mine.
Because I kind of think the Cowboys are going to win by double digits.
Yeah, 3.5 is not that big.
Hey,
Maybe it'll go down to 3.
3.5 is average.
I'm gonna wait on it, see if it goes down to 3.
Respectable.
I think 3.5 is ginormous.
All right. I've got one more takeaway. I usually say like it's ridiculous to doubt the Chiefs. Like it's Mahomes and Andy Reid. Let's just like pencil them into every single AFC championship. But am I crazy if the doubts have been like starting to creep into my mind these last few weeks?
No, they're mid.
You're not
They're
crazy. I'm still not ready to erase them yet, though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every year we get to this point. You know? I feel
Who'd
like
you
last year especially we got to this point where we were like doubting them a little bit.
Who would you put over them in the AFC right now? Like the Ravens?
I would put the
Maybe.
Ravens over them.
Maybe the Jags? Maybe?
I think I'd still put the Chiefs at 2 because the Dolphins haven't shown me they can beat
I
a
would
team
put
with
the
a winning
Dolphins
record.
ahead of them right now.
They can't beat good teams.
It has yet to, okay, the one thing I'll say about the Dolphins is their defense has been playing a lot better recently than it was to start the year.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Like they have really figured some things out on defense. And maybe this feels crazy because they have had a softer schedule, but they're going to have 2 more easy games, Titans, Jets, and then they finish the year Cowboys, Ravens, Bills. So the Dolphins are, what are they, 9-3 now with 5 games left?
Yeah.
If they go like 4-1 over the next 5, and the thing that I keep coming back to is Patrick Mahomes has never played a road playoff game. Never.
And they're 8-4 right now, so
And losing last night really hurts their 1 seed chances, because if you look at the NFL standings in the AFC, it is the Dolphins at 9-3, the Ravens at 9-3, Jacksonville's at 8-3, and they're playing as we're recording this. They'll probably beat the Bengals. And then it's the Chiefs 8-4. So they've got a game to catch up on.
They do.
3 other teams.
It's just so anytime Miami has run into a decent defense this year, they've like Chiefs lost 21-14. Eagles lost 31-17. Bills lost 48-20.
I get it. But if Miami takes care of business and they get a 1 seed, they don't have to go on the road for the whole playoffs. They get to play in their luxury stadium down in Miami where the weather's perfect.
But they played the Chiefs.
yeah, but
at home, and they lost.
They played the Chiefs when Andrew mentioned that their defense isn't playing as well, but now they're playing more up to scuff. So
so the Chiefs was week 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, that was also in Germany.
9.
That was also in Germany.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that one.
Like that was the game. So
you could almost throw the whole game out. Honestly,
exactly.
Yeah. Which is
that was a weird game. Like Brian Cook had a 59-yard fumble return for the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs that was like kind of where the Chiefs' second half struggles started, because the Chiefs went into halftime up 21-0, and the Dolphins scored twice in the third quarter to be down 21-14, and then both teams are scoreless in the fourth. So
yeah, you got to throw that one out.
I just think Mahomes is special, but you need pass catchers to make plays. And I look at all the other teams in the AFC. Obviously, the Dolphins have both Hill and Waddle. The Ravens, let's say Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce are washed. Like, they still have Zay Flowers. Like, they still have guys who can get separation and make big plays.
I'm not going to throw a rookie up there for playoffs, though.
I would with Zay Flowers.
I think he's the real deal, but you just got to see.
They still have Odell Beckham. Like, they have, like, some veterans, too.
Don't throw the Odell card out there.
Odell's been playing good.
They got Rashad Bateman. Like, they've got guys.
He's been fine.
Gus
Edwards has been playing.
Jacksonville's got Evan Ingram and Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk. Like, I think the pass catching thing is a problem.
Oh yeah, it's a problem.
I will say Rasheed has been better lately. Rasheed has been a lot better lately.
You just said I can't count on a rookie.
Yeah, but I would still count on Rasheed. That's what.
Just stop passing the ball to MVS. Like, the dude just can't catch.
He can't catch.
Get him off the team.
Yeah.
As long as Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are with Andy Reid in the playoffs, I mean, I still haven't penciled, but I can understand why maybe doubts are creeping in after the Green Bay loss. So
that's fair. I just think if they're not able to secure that 1 seed, I do not feel as confident in them, because I think if you've got a shaky wide receiver core, but all your games are in Arrowhead, then that's enough to overcome it, because that is a rowdy environment to go in and win.
Oh yeah.
But if you're going up to Baltimore in January, that's a different problem. Like, you think your wide receivers have drops when they're at home? Like, going on the road for a playoff game?
But if they're going on the road in the playoffs, then all the ESPN chatter is going to be like, the Chiefs can't do it. This is the year that somebody else does it, and then Patty's going to be pissed. So we'll see.
I think, yeah.
I think even if Pat plays pissed, it's up to his receivers.
Right.
He's got nobody.
He's gonna
It's
throw
like
it to
what's going
Kelsey.
on with Herbert in LA. Like Mahomes can only throw the ball so perfectly. It's up to the
Herbert
other
should
guys
come
to
to Seattle.
catch it.
Get him up to the Seattle. Herbie.
So,
Match made. up.
Hey, maybe Josh Palmer comes back, and then Herbie actually has a pass catcher.
Nah, he's going to Seattle. He's fine.
I hope so. I think that Justin Herbert in Seattle would be hilarious. I think it'd be beautiful.
wait, is this just like
would be
wish casting, or
beautiful.
do you know something, Alex? Because I haven't heard any of
No,
Herbert to
it's
I
Seattle
haven't,
stuff.
I haven't heard anything.
It's mostly wish casting.
Didn't they just pay him?
Yeah, but if they want to blow it up, give him a first rounder, some other stuff. Gino.
Just one. Try like 5.
Did you see what
Okay,
Russell Wilson? What you
we'll give him.
See
We'll
what
give
Russell
him.
Wilson cost?
We'll give him 3, and Gino.
No, the Chargers are just gonna hire Ben Johnson and
the
try
Bethel
to
guy.
build a competent offense.
Oh, that's not that good.
So, that was my last takeaway. Do y'all have anything else from Week 13 other than a lot of these games were bad? And actually,
Bill Belichick, is he getting fired?
I was hoping.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he won't be in New England. Whatever
Yeah.
verbiage you wanna put on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really hoping Rosie was gonna be on this
Like
this
with the
week
Lions
because
giving it
Lions are
away.
back.
Kind of.
Kind
They
of.
tried
What do
to.
you mean?
They
I
tried
think there's
to
only 5
fight-
teams that can win the Super Bowl, and the Lions are not one of them.
Oh no, Rosie! I'm here to defend.
They tried
I
to pull a red. They tried to pull a Red Hot Chili Peppers and give it away, give it away, give it away. Like,
Give it away. Give it away.
I think in the AFC, it is. I mean, we just got done trying to bury the Chiefs.
you better put the Chiefs in there.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say there's 6 teams. I think in the AFC, it's the Ravens, the Jaguars, and the Chiefs.
You don't think the Dolphins can win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, you put the Jags over the Dolphins.
You just got done putting the Dolphins.
know,
over
Taking the
I
Dolphins
know.
over the Jags.
I know.
I take the Dolphins over the Jags for sure.
It's 14-14 right now, and they're not even playing Joe Burrow.
I think the Jaguars have been flying under the radar. I think they are
Yeah.
much better than people want to
I
think.
mean,
They're
right
a
now, Jake
subtle
Browning is
8-3.
tearing them apart. He's got 1 incompletion.
It's
But
not
their
even
3
halftime
losses.
yet.
Their 3 losses are to the Chiefs, playoff team, Texans.
Okay,
Better.
week 2 and
That
week
was
3.
And then the 49ers 34-3.
So that was week 2 and week 3, and that was the 49ers coming off of a bye.
49ers 43-3 at home.
And it was the 49ers coming off of a bye.
Ugh, that's the worst.
I think that Jacksonville won a playoff game last year. They almost beat the Chiefs in that weird game where Mahomes was, hurt and, coming back in and all that stuff. I just think
They're good.
I think they're good,
I
man.
think they're good. But
But
I don't know if they can win the Super Bowl. Like,
Okay,
I'll
fine.
take the
Then we'll
Lions
say,
over the
then
Jags.
Fine. If you want to take them out, that's fine.
I'd
Then
take
I'll
the
say
Dolphins
there's
over
five.
the
I will say there's 5 teams that can win the Super Bowl, and
the
it's in the
Dolphins, for
AFC. It's the Chiefs and the Ravens, and the NFC. It's the Cowboys, the 49ers, and the Eagles.
in that order.
haters.
Which
Don't believe in Jared Goff? Goof.
I know it's not that. I don't believe in the defense.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
You just
Jared
gotta
Goff has
outscore
been
'em.
great.
Just outscore. It's the OU method. Just outscore him, baby.
Yeah.
Well, it was
Not
the
this
tweet.
year.
It was the tweet I
Not
sent
this
y'all
year.
earlier today from a computer cowboy who does a lot of good stuff on Twitter. It's the betting
like?
market conference and Super Bowl odds. So it's basically what does Vegas think about each of these teams? Chances to win the Super Bowl: 49ers at 24%, Kansas City at 13%, Philly at 12%, Baltimore at 12%. Actually, has Miami at 9% and Dallas at 9%, and then it drops off to the Lions at 5%.
That's still top 6, top 5.
But I think the biggest drop is if you look at the chance to
Yeah, because the Jags are after
win the
Lions,
conference.
that graphic.
to go to the Super Bowl. San Francisco's 37, Kansas City 28, Philly is 24, Baltimore's 24, Miami is 21, Dallas is 19, and then the Lions are 11. So it's a pretty
that's a bigger
significant
drop-off.
drop.
And then I think
I just think you can't win 3 because I mean, is it okay to say that the Lions are not going to have the 1 seed?
Yeah.
Okay,
hold on.
let's
me
assume
look
they
at
don't
it.
have the 1 seed. I don't think you can win 4 playoff games with that shaky of a defense.
Yeah, definitely not on the road.
Like they'll get the first one at home and then maybe the second one at home, but
The Lions have Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings.
yeah,
That's
I think this is the year before the year for the Lions. I think they're gonna probably win a playoff game. That's gonna be a massive, massive success.
'Cause it's
And then
been
next
how
year
long?
they're gonna be a
it'll-
Super Bowl contender.
I hope they get to host a playoff game because that'd be an
I hope so, too.
awesome atmosphere.
I hope so too. That'd be really cool.
They'll get to host.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the next best team it's Green Bay, right? After them, yeah,
Oh, in the division, yeah,
they'll get
yeah,
to
they'll
host.
they'll get to host. Well, and Minnesota's still 6-6. They're tied with Green Bay.
They're about to
Can't
fall
forget
off-
about Josh Dobbs, baby.
No, they're about to fall off a cliff.
Job
I think
season.
Trent called it.
Dobbs City.
This is the end of Dobbs.
All right, you guys want to wrap up this podcast?
Let's
Hold
wrap
on.
it.
I think we
Oh.
need to mention one more team.
Ho ho ho!
The Houston Texans, baby. CJ Stroud, speaking of a team that's probably 1 year too early, this team reminds me so much of the 2012 Seahawks with rookie Russell Wilson. Because it's not just it's not just CJ doing awesome stuff on offense. Their defense is for real, dude. They have some playmakers in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to talk
Eric
about?
Stingley. Will Anderson popping off all game yesterday. Like,
It's
they're just a
crazy.
fun team to watch.
It's
I'm
fun
just-
because they're always on the local broadcast down here, and so I've watched a lot of Texans football this year. It's been so fun. Nico Collins popping off 9 receptions, 191 yards, and a touchdown yesterday. Crazy.
Did we see how severe Tank Dell's injury was? That
It's
might be the
season
only.
ending.
Oh man,
Yeah, it's
Ugh.
fractured fib, I believe.
dang it!
Uh,
That might put a spark in my idea, but
A spark in your
Texans.
idea? So that's what you're going with?
I lost it.
That's what you're going with. Okay.
Yeah,
No, I think the Texans, if there's going to be a team that's going to play spoiler in that wild card round like we were talking about, I think it's them.
They're
they got the
so
defense
fun.
for it.
I don't know. I think ultimately I'm not that sold on them because I know CJ Stroud didn't do well on that like cognitive test. And I just put a lot of stock in that. So like
I thought you were
how
going
Bryce
good
Young
are
guy.
the Texans really, you know?
Yeah.
Bryce
And
Young's
they've got
football
so
IQ, guys.
they go Jets, Titans, Browns, Titans, Colts.
Mm.
They'll get Dalton Schultz back, but they just lost Tank Dell. So
Schultz might help though a little bit. Just their
Schultz does.
safety valve.
Schultz has been a solid option for Stroud this year. He's really liked him. I miss him, but Jake Ferguson is a beast. So
Owns Jabal Adams.
All right. Well, let's wrap up the podcast there. Before we do, should we tell our friends about our friends, Liquid IV?
I had some today.
Yes.
Did you? What flavor?
The acai berry. Been drinking it every day for like
Love
a
it.
solid month and a half, and it's been amazing.
I need to order some more. And I was trying to decide which ones I should get. And did you know that you can build your own bundle?
Yes.
You can go on there and you can just choose. You can say, "Oh, I want to try a sugar-free." So they give you the sugar-free options. Do you want lemon lime? Do you want green grape? Do you want white peach? You check that. You say, "Okay, now I want some that are the hydration multipliers." You got the sea berry, the acai berry, pina colada, guava. I mean, they've got it all. You're like,
Oh, I
you
gotta
know
try
what?
Guava. Oh man, I gotta try guava.
Golden cherry. I mean, they just they've got so many flavors. And then you say, "Okay, now I want some energy packets. I want to, give me a boost during the day." Go down there. They got the lemon ginger, the mango tamarind, the yuzu pineapple. Then you're like, you know what? I really like kombucha. They got kombucha for you. They got immune support, which I've had the tangerine immune support. It's delicious. And then if you're like, you know what? I had my energy packets. Now I need something to help put me down at night, make me go all sleepy and, Betty bye, all that good stuff. Blueberry lavender. Pop it in your water bottle, right to sleep. I mean, we talk about all of our favorite flavors. If you don't want to decide, just go pick them all. Do the variety pack. Try a dozen. Figure out which ones work best for you. We love Liquid IV here. We all drink it. We all think it's delicious. And you can go try Liquid IV today, and you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com. Use code MTC at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MTC at liquidiv.com. All right, Trent is not here, so I am frantically trying to find a dad joke here.
Christmas dad joke.
What cars? Ooh, okay, I'll do a Christmas one. In the meantime, though, I will do a non-Christmas one. What cars do eggs drive?
What you got?
Volkswagen.
That's bad. Hey, here's
Nothing?
what's
I
Santa's,
think
what's
I think we need
what's
to
Santa's-
brainstorm something new. besides
What's
the dad
Santa's
joke.
favorite snack? Crisp Pringles.
Oh my god! Yeah, see, this is exactly why we need to.
My wife said if she didn't like my Christmas gift, she'd burn it. So I got her a candle.
Okay.
What animal is the best at wrapping gifts? A velociraptor.
Oh.
That's so bad.
Let's see.
Are you on countryliving.com?
Yeah, I'll go to a different one.
What if we pick a number between 1 and 100?
Okay, pardon my take.
We don't talk.
Who?
What's part of my take? We
I don't know what you.
I
I
don't know. I
think-
saw a billboard for it. That's
What is that? Oh
that's
my gosh.
knowledge.
Yeah. Hey, while we're at it, why don't we talk about our Spotify Wrapped and if making the call was in our top 5?
Was it in yours?
It was. It was number 3.
I love that.
Yeah, congrats.
Was it in yours?
I listen to so many podcasts that even by listening to every episode of Making the Call, it's not going to crack my top 5 because we have jobs, so we only do one a week.
I listen to every Making the Call episode multiple
And also-
times a day.
Something to remember with
Every day?
Spotify Wrapped is it's based off of minutes listened, not like percent of total minutes for that podcast. So if you listen to, so let's say 52 weeks in a year, let's say we put out 52 episodes of Making the Call and you listen to all of them, and let's say each one was an hour, that's 52 hours. If you listen to, one in every 3 podcasts that does it 3 times a week and it's a 2-hour podcast, they're going to show up before Making the Call does because it's total minutes. So
Give us a shout if you Making the Call was in your top 5.
yes.
Give
Yeah.
us-
If
give us
it's
a
on
shout.
there, let us know.
Share it so we can share it.
We might even, I'm not committing to this, but we might send you some Liquid IV if we were in your top 5. Might.
Ooh.
But you got to share it first for us to decide. I can't decide
Andrew-
right now. I need to have all
Andrew
the
says,
facts.
let's see how many people we have to send Liquid IV to before
Exactly.
before we
That's
commit.
yes.
That's why I said might.
Yes, might. Trying to buy a house next year. I need to I need to keep the disposable
Ooh,
cash
stars.
at a minimum.
Stars.
Hey,
Stars
do y'all
flying.
know if snow globes ever get scared?
I don't.
No, just shaking.
Oh, yeah. I know. It came to me.
What did one snowman say to the other? Do you smell carrots too?
That's so stupid.
I'm just gonna keep this going because if you're still listening to this podcast, I might also send you Liquid IV. Might. Just keyword.
But you got to prove it somehow.
You got to prove it. You got to send us a timestamp or something that you're listening to this.
What do you call Santa's little helpers? Subordinate clauses. little grammar joke for you.
Why do reindeer wear bells? Their horns don't work.
Horns down.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Making the Call. We'll end it there. Thank you, of course, to Austin and Alex for hopping on this week. Thank you to Dak Prescott for proving me right, for defending him all these years. Here we go. Thank you to everyone who tuned in on YouTube. Thank you to everyone who's listening to us on Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcasts. And Alex, there's been something you've been signing off the newsletters with each week.
Yes.
Why don't you tell the podcast listeners about it too?
Right, responsibly.
Just
Danny,
real quick.
All right, Danny DeVito is
No,
the king.
not Danny DeVito.
Tommy, I keep forgetting his name. DeVito.
Tommy
DeVito, king of New Jersey, better than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones sucks. He's always sucked, and he's going to continue to suck. Goodbye.
There it is. Go try Liquid IV. Code MTC, 20% off.
It's
We'll
not
be
a
back
sign off
this-
if you talk after it, Andrew.
He's got to get the
It was
little-
his sign off.
Okay.
Now I turn to Austin. Austin, do you have a sign off for the people?
Jalen Hurts sucks. Goodbye.
Wow, we are just oozing positivity as we wrap up this podcast.
Dak is the MVP. Goodbye.
Dak is the MVP. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of the week, and we will see you next time.
Boom.
Bye, YouTube.